Real estate lingo can be very confusing, especially when searching for a home online. There's all kinds of different terms for the different listing statuses, like active versus pending, under contract backups, and active contingent. So what does all this mean? Today, I'm going to explain the different real estate codes that we use here in Arizona. And I'm going to tell you why searching on sites like Zillow and Trulia can make the home search even more confusing and frustrating. All right, so let's get started. Hi, I'm Amy Hayslett and I'm a realtor here in the Phoenix area. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd like to invite you to do so now because I talk about fun things to do in the Phoenix area and all things real estate, and I don't want you to miss a thing. And also be sure to ring that bell. So you find that perfect home online and you call your realtor to set up an appointment to see it and hopefully make an offer, only to find out it's already under contract. What is going on? Well, here in Arizona, we have several different statuses depending on where the listing is in the process, and it can be very confusing. And to top that off, many third-party websites like Trulia and Zillow don't recognize the different statuses, and that can add to the confusion. So let's talk about those different statuses, starting with active status. So active status means that the home is on the market and not under contract. It's for sale. Typically in this case, the sellers are very open to showings and you can get in and see the home and make an offer. When a home becomes active, it will immediately show up on the MLS site and any sites that get a direct feed from the MLS. For example, most realtors will have their page directly feeding from the MLS. Third-party sites that don't get a direct feed may take a little bit longer. So if you're a buyer looking for a home, make sure your realtor sets you up with automatic emails as soon as a home comes on market. Once a home goes under contract, it can go into what's called pending status. If it's in pending status, that means that they have a contract and that the home is in escrow. There's many steps that are going to have to happen though for that home to close. So there is a chance the home could fall out. But when it's in pending status, the seller usually is not taking any more showings and is not actively marketing the home. If you're really interested in a home that's in pending status, talk to your realtor and they can reach out to the listing agent and ask if the seller will take a backup offer or show the home. So once a home goes under contract and is in escrow, there's also a couple of other statuses that might apply. For example, active accepting backups is a lot like pending, except for the seller is most likely still going to be taking showings and would entertain backup offers. Another status that you might see when an offer is under contract or pending is contingent status, or CCBS, contingent accepting backup offers. This is when the current buyer has a contingency to sell their own home. In this case, a second buyer could come in and put in an offer, and if the first buyer can't remove their contingency and perform without selling the home, then the second buyer is now going to move to first place. So it can be real frustrating for buyers when they see a home they really like, only to find out that there's another buyer in first position. And it gets even more frustrating sometimes when they still want to look at the home, but the seller's not open to showings. So in these cases, it's a good idea to have your realtor talk to the listing agent to get a better idea of what's going on, find out if you can get in for a showing and what is the likelihood that the other home may fall through. The next status is closed status. And that's pretty straightforward. If all goes well during escrow, then the buyer and the seller come to an agreement and they close escrow and the home is now the buyer's. On the other hand, if things don't go well, we might see an expired or canceled listing. And in this case, the seller currently is not listing the home and is not marketing the home for sale. But you might want to keep an eye on that because it might come back on the market. Searching online with third-party websites can be very inaccurate and add to the confusion, and they aren't always up to date. So when you're serious about looking for a home, get with your trusted real estate agent so that they can send you the most up-to-date information that comes directly from the local MLS, because you don't want to miss out on that perfect home. So now you know the difference between active versus pending and other real estate status codes. Thanks for joining me today. If you have questions, please put them in the comments below or contact me directly. I'm here to help. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Searching online third-party websites like Trulia and Zillow